All right, the next thing we're going to do with our GarageBand project about Rockin' Robin is we are going to try to the best of our ability to make it match what we hear on YouTube. So I have my GarageBand project from last time with the verse and the chorus already recorded. I also have my lyrics here in Notability, and I have the song in YouTube. So you're going to have to listen to it a lot to decide what these things are, what you're going to need. So what I recommend is let's go to Notability, and you might want to add some text or something for the things that you hear. So the things that I'm going to be listening for when you submit this assignment, I am really going to be listening for mostly 3 things. The first thing I listen for is, did you do the chords right? So last week I just wanted you to try it. This week, now that you've had some time to practice, I want you to really make sure they match what was in the recording. So if you didn't feel confident with that, you might want to give that another try. You can use the video from the last project where we first made this to help you with that if you need to. We're going to need to repeat those skills for this video. So you'll just need to practice that if you haven't gotten the hang of it yet. But that's the first thing I'm listening to. But other than that, I'm only listening for 2 things. And that is what instruments are being played. And I'm just going to do this because that'll be easier. And what's the tempo. So the good news is that the tempo is going to be the same for the verse and the chorus. But the instruments might be different. So I'm going to write verse and I'm going to write chorus. I know my handwriting's so messy. I just used my finger for this. All right, so I wrote this here because I'm going to listen to Rockin' Robin, and I'm going to want to take notes on what I hear. I'm like going to be a detective here. And I'm going to drag them into the side view, and I am going to be ready to take notes. I might write, I don't know, I might write the tempo up here, and I might actually just do this and write the instruments in those guys. You could do it any way you want, really. As long as you understand what it means, then that's all you need to do. So I'm not even going to write what I hear, really. I'm just going to write how many things I hear so that you could try it on your own. So let's listen to it together and see what we count. This is going to be right before the verse starts. Here's the verse. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple hints because I think this will help you. In the verse, both 2 and 3, both of them, are percussion instruments. Okay? And in the chorus, one of the things that I counted as an instrument is the backup singers. Oh. As long as you can read it, it's fine. It is. Okay. All right. So we're going to go to GarageBand, and we're going to figure this out now. Okay. So I don't want to give you all the answers. I want you to try to think of it the best you can. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint here, and just go ahead and say that in the verse, it sounds like you're going to have to get rid of this guitar, doesn't it? Yeah, so you might have to do that. But let's go back to the chorus, because this one, you might need to keep the guitar. So there's a couple things you can do. I just want you to know that for this project, I'm not going to be super picky. Like, it doesn't need to sound exactly like it. But I just want to hear that you tried to make it sound like what you heard. That's really what I want to hear. I want to hear, are you trying to use GarageBand like an instrument? So the first thing you need to do is you're going to want to go through these guitars and see if you could find one that closely matches the sound of the guitar in the video. And you might, try pressing these buttons and just see what happens, and you might not think that that's what it sounds like, but this might even help you find yours. Okay, so I'm going to pick one that's obviously not right. Because I want you to find it for yourself. But I want you to know something. For this, I turned the autoplay off. Now, you can go through the autoplay and see if any of them sounded like the Rockin' Robin sound. And there is a chance that one of them might, but if it doesn't, then you can just turn it off like I did. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to tap on the letter G at the top of the chord thing. I'm sorry, it's ringing too much. I just can't. Here we go. Yeah, and I have to do this in one take because I'm going to edit this thing, so if you hear a certain rhythm, then you can just record it by tapping that rhythm on your screen. Now, I'm going to have to still follow the chords of Rockin' Robin, so you might have to, and I'm going to try to get rid of this. I always forget how to do this. No. There we go. Okay. So you're going to have to maybe put that in the side view so that you can see the chords again. I know I have to. Maybe you have it memorized after working on it last week. And I'm going to have to move it so that I could have the finger tool so I could see my chords for the chorus. And I'm going to need to put it in side view. It's a whole process. I always have trouble putting it in side view, as you are painfully aware. Okay, so I'm going to record the whole thing again, but with whatever rhythm I feel like is in the thing. And I'm going to choose a rhythm that's not actually correct, or not really close. But I just want you to see that I'm going to choose a rhythm, and I'm going to still follow the chord changes. So I'm going to still do 2 measures of C, then 2 measures of G, then 1 measure of D, 2 beats on C, 2 beats on G, and then keep going with G. Okay, here we go. We're going to record it. Let's see how we do. To show you is that at one point I accidentally just touched the string by itself, and that doesn't play the chord, it just plays the string. So you want to be careful to just play on the letters. Okay, so that's how you're going to change the rhythm if you want to do some sort of customized, rhythm that you make up. You can do it that way. Now I want to show you some other things that GarageBand is capable of, and we could just get rid of this now because you'll use those anytime you record an instrument, but you might not be recording many. Like, if you thought there were strings in it, you would go to Smart Strings, and you would literally do the same process. C for 2 measures, G, D, G, or G, C, G, or whatever. You'd use the same chords that you did for the guitar, but you just use a different instrument. Look how similar it looks to the guitar. No matter what instrument you choose, it's going to be the same way. Now, I want to show you the drums. There's a couple different things you could do with the drums. I personally like using either the acoustic drums or smart drums. Here's smart drums. Now, for smart drums, you don't have that much control over exactly what it sounds like, but there's a bunch of different options. So, let's say that I thought a shaker was in the song. I'm not necessarily telling you there's a shaker in the song, but if I did, I would drag it to all these different boxes until I heard the sound that I thought was in the song. And all you have to do to record drums is just drag them where they belong and press record. Also notice that if I press on the image where it says Hip Hop Drum Machine, I could change it to another style of drum. So that might make it sound even more like the recording. Okay, so once you've found what you like, you're going to drag this marker to the beginning, and you're just going to press record, and it'll record automatically for you. Watch. I'm going to put some stuff in. And just press record. go. And once it turns green, it's done. All right, so those are my drums. You could do it that way. There's another way you could do it. So I'm going to delete these drums. If you ever need to delete anything, there's that little rectangle view at the top, like by the boxes where you pick the new instrument. There's a rectangle view. And if you just tap once on the instrument's picture you want to delete, you can delete it. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to show you the acoustic drums now. Acoustic drums, you have much more control, but it's harder to do. It's kind of like turning off autoplay. So in order to play these acoustic drums, I'm literally tapping on my screen on whatever drum I want to play. So if I wanted to record it, I would just have to find the exact rhythm and tap it on my iPad screen and record it. So I kind of went rock star on you at the end, but your idea here is just to imitate what you hear the best you can, and whatever you think is going to bring you closest to that, you can. Again, don't stress about it sounding exactly like it. That's not one of the categories I'm grading you on. I am grading you on, do you have the chords matching the chords in the song? And we already did that last week. You just have to do the same chords for whatever instrument you add. And do the instruments sound like they do in Rockin' Robin? Like, do you have the correct instruments? That's 1 point. And does the speed match the song? So we already went over the instruments. And by the way, if you do not want to sing, you don't have to. But if you do want to sing, you can record yourself singing with the microphone. The same way you recorded your rhythms earlier in the year, you can go to The Voice and press record, and you could sing Rockin' Robin, tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' Robin, tweet, 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 right? So you could sing through the lyrics like that. Also keep in mind that one of the 3 things that I counted for my notability thing was backup singers for the chorus. And I'm not actually requiring you to sing, because I know that some people really just don't feel comfortable doing that. It would be awesome if you did, but you do not have to. And if you want to have like the solo line and the backup singers, then you should record just one vocal with this, and then you should add another one for just the backup singers. So you'll have a totally separate recording for the backup singers. Okay, so we went over the instruments, and we went over listening to it and taking notes. And I didn't actually write down the notes, but you will write anything on this notability page that you need to help you be successful. Now, the last thing that you're going to need here is you are going to need to change the speed so it matches Rockin' Robin. And I'm going to show you how to do that. You're going to press the gear. You're going to choose tempo. And what's nice is everything that you recorded digitally, so not your singing, so you'll want to sing last, actually, maybe even after you do the tempo. Everything you recorded digitally, you can speed up. You can even tap to set the tempo. Okay, and then once you play it back, it'll now be at whatever speed you picked. Let's see if it does it for the drums automatically. It sounds kind of crazy. But did you notice that it even sped up these drums that I played? It even made those sound faster. Okay, so I actually do want to listen to this and make sure the tempo matches. It might or it might not. So what I just had my tempo set to was like 156, and I want you to listen to the actual song now and just think, is this faster or slower than what you just heard? Unless it doesn't load. Oh, what if it doesn't load? Yep, so if you can tap your foot to the beat, you'll be able to tap the screen on here with whatever tempo you just found. So if you thought that tempo was like this fast, which it's not, then you would just tap the screen to that tempo, and it will set it for you automatically, and will automatically change whatever you did, which is like pretty cool, I think. Okay, so that's what you'll do. You will record some instruments, you'll change the speed, and if you want, you could record yourself singing, and then you could show to your family how great you are at making, at imitating songs with GarageBand. But once you're done, you're going to submit it to Schoology, just like you have with other things. And again, don't stress if it doesn't sound exactly like the song on YouTube. Just do your best, and that will be enough for me. I hope you have fun with this.